All right, so Python for Absolute Beginners. This is our episode 4. The last episode, we went over what is a variable, and we learned that we can assign a variable is just assigning any letter, number, assigning a value to it. So we assigned x is equal to slow, and steady wins the race. Now, whenever we want to refer back to slow and steady wins the race, we don't have to type out that entire sentence, and we can just assign a variable. Because we've just assigned the value of x to that, we can always refer to slow and steady wins the race with x. So that is a great shortcut to saving you a lot of time. Now, similarly, so let's say you have an action, and we have Beely as the turtle here, and you want Beely to perform this action. Let's see what it is. Perfect. So we want Beely to draw a square. That's what that line of code does. But we don't just want one line. We don't want one square. We want multiple squares. Do you have to copy and paste this line of code for every time you want Beely to perform this function, which is create a square? Luckily, no. There's an easier way to create multiple squares, and that is by using functions. Now, functions are similar to variables in that you're giving an item a value, but they're a little bit different in that you're actually having it perform a task. In this case, we're having Beely draw a square, which is in the variable case, we were just having spit out a sentence. So how do you create a function? You define this line of code. Now, in this case, this line of code makes a square, so it's fitting that we would call it a square. And then you're going to put open and close parentheses and then a colon. And select that line of code and hit tab. And here, all this line of code is now defined as square. So whenever we want Turtle to perform a square, we can simply plug in this line of code. However, if we run this code right now, let's see what would happen. Nothing. Now, that might be concerning. Why did nothing happen? You see, we're simply giving square a value. Square is equal to this. However, we didn't actually say for square to appear. So that was like, if I'm describing something, say a turtle, for example, reptilian and has a shell, but I'm not actually saying that is a turtle. I'm not actually having it come to fruition. So in order for this to appear, you have to call the function. So here, we've defined square, and now we're actually going to call the function. And let's see what happens now. Awesome. So square appears. And now let's say we want turtle to move forward 100 again. And then we want square to appear again. Let's run that. Awesome. So now we have two squares, and every time we want a square, we don't have to rewrite this line of code and copy and paste it. We can simply refer back to it as what we've defined it, and that's a square. Now, one more hack. If you're like me, you want things to happen as quickly as possible. So you can assign Beely a speed, and the highest that goes up to is 10, I believe, but this will just make everything go faster for when we're running our code. See, you don't have to wait as long, and it just loads very quickly. If you want, check out yesterday's video about variables, so you can get a good introduction there. You just find it at elizabethbeely.com. All right, catch you on the next one. Bye.